So it finished West Ham 0, Everton 0, and I feel like it was one actually that leaves more questions again than answers in terms of Lopetegui and this team and where we're going this season, because it wasn't good. Like, it really was not good. Appreciate it wasn't a defeat, but to be drawing at home against Everton, of course, who are really struggling this season as well. It's a game you just have to win. You need 3 points if you're going to do anything this season. You've got to be winning these sort of fixtures. And look, we had the better chances. I'm not going to sit here and say that we were, Everton were by far the better team. They weren't. Everton were terrible. But that's my point. Everton was so bad themselves, but yet we just couldn't get anything. We couldn't get a result out of it. And Jordan Pickford did make a couple of good saves, and we did hit the post. So, we do have some. There will be some arguments from Lopetegui's side, which he's already leaning on anyway, to suggest that we were the better team, we deserved to win, etc., etc. But I wasn't impressed. I've got to be honest. I was really frustrated and confused again. Just left so confused about what the game plan is at this team. I just don't get it. I really don't. Lopetegui, right? He fails when he talks to the media, and he's done this again. This is why I'm referring to now. He's done this again. When he's talking to the media. He never really gives any answers. Everything's just so vague in his answers. He never really ever answers a question. And he's come out this morning and I said this morning, last night after the game, and talking about energy. The energy wasn't right, and the players need to be doing this for 90 minutes, and it's all like about togetherness and teamwork. Again, these are all just like fancy words for me. They don't answer anything. It's just buzzwords, managerial talk to get out of a situation. You get it at work sometimes, you know what I mean? Don't get a straight answer. Really frustrating. And we're certainly getting a lot of that. Now, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to talk about... I'm not going to sit here, by the way, and just go, West Ham are crap, sack the manager. I don't want to just do a video on that. I want to actually talk about a couple of specific things in this game that really highlighted for me. Before I do that, though, I do want to start off with a positive, right? And there is a big positive from that game, which was Crysencio Summerville. I mean, my word, he was excellent. I mean, he really works his socks off, that guy, and I've been really impressed with him ever since he arrived. I think he's been excellent. By far, for me, our signing of the summer so far, and for me, at the moment, be Hammer of the Year for me. I think he's been great, and he worked his socks off. He denied Everton a clear goal, I think, was coming when Decore was put through. I think it was Decore was put through on goal when Everton broke from really shoddy play from West Ham. We gave the ball away very cheaply once again, and we're very much exposed once again, which we keep seeing from this team this season. But Summerville, he must have run about 70 yards, sprinted all the way back, just kept going and going and going, and he got that blocking to block Decore for the shot, which again I think would have scored and probably won them the game. But yeah, great. I really do want to make it very clear that he deserves credit because he was excellent. But it's very difficult to say that about other players, really. I mean, I don't want to sort of go individually. I don't want to keep going around and doing things like that. But I want to talk about a couple of things, right, that really stuck with me in this game that I really noticed. I mean, first of all, once again, that lost feeling that we seem to be seeing every game. Just this feeling of like you're watching West Ham play and you don't really know what the system is. There's no passages of play. There's no clear identity of what we're trying to do. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you're thinking, I see what we're doing. We're doing some overlaps and things like that. I can see this is what we're going to try and do to attack. It's never anything. There's never anything you watch. It almost just feels like players are just put in their positions and go, just get on with it, see how you get on. There's no real plan. That's what I'm seeing anyway. Maybe I'm missing something. If you feel like that I'm getting it wrong, then fine. But I don't think I am. I really don't. I was watching. I felt it all season. I felt it all pre-season. Everything. Every time I watch West Ham play, I'm just lost of what we're trying to do. And the specifics I want to talk about were a couple of incidents in the second half, actually. And one of them, we had a throw-in on the right-hand side, on the right wing, and it was, I think it was Vladimir Sufal come on at that point. I mean, he took off Wan-Bissaka. Again, no idea why. I can only assume injury or he was feeling fatigued. I don't know, but I don't believe that to be the case. He didn't come across that way. And to be honest with you, the way he came off the pitch, I'm going to come to him with that in a minute, showed that he didn't want to come off. So, again, another baffling decision. Didn't make any sense at all. Maybe the only reason why, the only thing I can argue, maybe he wanted to try and get the ball in the box and got someone that could cross the ball. That could be the only argument, maybe, for bringing Sufal. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. I want to talk about what he was doing in terms of a throw-in. We had a throw-in on the right wing. It was right in front of me, right? And, well, not too far away from me. And Sufal picked up the ball. And he genuinely, right, you could just see when he was looking around, he had absolutely no idea where he was going to throw this ball. He was looking backwards, he was looking forwards, looking back again, and it went on and on and on. He just standing there. The players were just standing still, just didn't know what to do. And I'm thinking, what are we doing here? Like, what's the plan here? What is the plan? Anyway, he throws the ball sort of into nothing, really, you know, like a hopeful, I'm just going to throw it. And he was throwing it backwards, by the way, into defence. And then Everton come in, head the ball. Anyway, it goes off for another throw-in. So we get a second attempt. By the way, this is right in front of Lopetegui. He is literally yards away from Lopetegui. Lopetegui's just standing there with his hands in his pockets, just watching this unfold, right? Again, he picks up the ball. He looks back. He looks forward. He looks back. He's looking around. There's no one moving. Again, he throws it into no man's land. Boom, it goes out again for another throw. So he had 3 attempts, right, of this throw-in. And then again, he does the exact same thing again. And then on the third one, we completely miss the ball. It goes back to Everton play, and they then go on a counter-attack. And I was standing there, and I was watching. I was with my cousin, and I was with a couple of guys with me who go to the football. And I was just, and we were saying, like, so what's the plan here? Like, do they not do any training? Like, do we not do any kind of training on throw-ins? And go, like, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to retain possession. I mean, I'm not suggesting that all day and every day they sit there working on throw-ins, but surely there are times when they work on throw-ins. There's surely got to be some sort of. So what are they doing? What are they doing on this training ground? What are they doing week in, week out, where they keep saying they're working so hard on the training ground? Well, I'm not seeing any evidence of anything yet. And that, for me, was a specific piece of evidence to suggest that they're not doing anything on training, or they're not doing anything of any real credit, because any real substance, because I just can't understand it. This is Premier League football, and you don't know what to do on a throw-in. You are literally going, I've no idea where I'm putting this ball. It was really baffling, right? So I was really fuming about that and thought it's just more evidence to suggest. And as I say, Lopetegui's just standing there. He's not even giving any direction. He could easily speak to Sufal and just say, Sufal, put it out. Wait, come on, you get the ball. Do you know what I mean? Like, no direction, nothing. It was just like watching park football. Do you know what I mean? I expect to see that on Sunday League. Even then, do you know what I mean? I remember I was a kid doing this blind play from the school and did bits for, Sunday League football, and you practice throw-ins and things. I mean, it just does my head in. Anyway. That then passed. It wasn't long after. It was about 10 minutes later, and we had a free kick. Same position, pretty much, same area of the pitch, and it was going to be a set piece. So Sufal's now gone to get the ball. It was a foul. He's put the ball down. Again, a very lost-looking Sufal. Maybe because he's not been playing very much. I mean, maybe that's it, right? But anyway, regardless of that, and I think it was Bowen came over, and possibly Paqueta came over to join him. And literally all 3 of them were just standing around and didn't know who was taking it, what they were doing. The players were just standing in the middle, just standing with their hands on their hips and scratching their heads or whatever, like me. And it was just like, again, just more evidence to suggest that we've got no game plan. You should know who's hitting that ball. They should know. They should go, right, we've got a free kick there. We know the drill. We know what we're going to do. We know this is all right. You might have, say, 3 or 4 plans of what we're going to do. So maybe you could have a discussion. What are we going to do? Are you going to hit it long? Are you going to go here? You're going to drop in, and so I can pick it up and lay it back to you, and you hit it for. You understand what I'm saying? You'd have some ideas, but you could clearly see there was none. Anyway, whips the ball in, caught by Pickford immediately. Bang, caught it, and they went and countered. It was just poor, and that's what I'm saying. I want to talk about specifics in it because Lopetegui doesn't. He just likes to talk wishy-washy crap. Never ever gets to a point. And for me, that's just pure, substantial evidence to suggest. If I'm West Ham owners now, I'll be putting them up on that and going, "What are you actually working on in training?" Because I can't see anything. And that to me, those incidents, and again, there's many more of them. I mean, you could go through. You probably pick out a good 15 incidents in the game where you could go, "What were we trying to do there?" But for me, that's just sort of evidence and. To show why we are playing the way we are. Because if that's how we are at set pieces, then no wonder our game plan is so crap. It's like they've got no idea. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what the messages are. I mean, Lopetegui's talked about this before, hasn't he? This maybe he's got to help work on his communication with players. They don't seem to be understanding him. I mean, I don't understand the guy. I never do. I've said about this previously. I'm not trying to dig him out for his English. He speaks fine English. He understands the English language. He just doesn't answer questions. He doesn't really talk. It's all just managerial fluff. It doesn't really mean anything. But yeah, I was really disappointed about that, and it's just a reflection of where we are. I came away from that game feeling more lost than before. Like I seem to with every game with West Ham play, I never seem to come away from it feeling like, oh yeah, there was something to be encouraged about there. As I say, the only shining light for me in that game was Summerville. I feel like he is just someone that's come into this club and really trying to grab it by the horns. He's this position. He wants that shirt. He wants to make it his own. And let's be honest, he is. He's our best left winger. He's been our best player this season for me. He really has. And he was unlucky not to score, hit the post. I wish he had. I mean, obviously mainly for West Ham, but for him as well. Do you know what I mean? I wanted us to get a result. But you know, it's now leaves big questions, doesn't it, over Lopetegui and his future? I personally, this is my view. I understand some people will feel different. It's weird though with this because with David Moyes, it was very 50-50. You know, in terms of the fan base, I mean, look, it was a big split, wasn't it? Moyes in, Moyes out. Okay, towards the end, I think it felt it was more Moyes out. I think a lot of people started to go, yeah, I think his time's come. But with Lopetegui, there's barely anyone defending him. I mean, everyone I was speaking to that game yesterday. By the way, thanks for everyone coming to say hello to me. It does mean so much. I really do appreciate it. And it's great to have such a great community here on this channel. So honestly, I really do love. So if you ever do see me and want to say hello, just come over. I do really enjoy it. But I was speaking to a few fans yesterday, and everyone was saying the same thing. You know, everyone is so frustrated and really lost with what we're trying to do. And the ownership must see that. So despite not losing, which is what frustrates me more, because it's almost like the club now can lean on that a bit. Go, well, we didn't lose, so we'll give him. I don't think he'll be laid off. I don't think they'll sack him. But it's not to say he won't be. I mean, if I'm the owner, I would kind of dismiss the 0-0. I'd just look at the performance and go, mate, it was dreadful, like really poor. Again, the first half was absolutely shocking. Like it was awful. The first half, we were so poor. It's just because we were up against a really poor Everton side. That's only the reason we didn't lose that game. I mean, we got Arsenal next at that stadium. They're going to rip us to shreds. They are going to rip us to pieces. I mean, we are looking probably at another repeat of last season. I really do. I would not be surprised if Arsenal walk off that 6-0 win again. I wouldn't. It wouldn't surprise me. I really wouldn't. We are that bad at the moment, and I'm just not seeing any improvements. This is months and months and months into his reign now. What are we now? 11 Premier League games in, 2 cup games, what's that? 13 professional games plus a full pre-season. I mean, it's absolutely shocking. And as I say, you don't want. I'm not expecting this guy to go give us the finished article of what he's trying to do. I appreciate, you need time for these things to happen, but you've got to start seeing some signs. And this is my point where I was referring to that throw-in and the free kick. They're the times when you should see signs. They're the moments when I want to say, oh, look, you can see what we're doing. Like clear, Paqueta drops in and then suddenly you get a runner going. Same, Bowen goes on a run. He then throws it to Bowen, flick back to Paqueta. And you go, they've worked on that in training. You can see they've been working on something and it's worked. We're getting back. And even if it doesn't work right, at least you'd see it. At least you go, I see what they're trying to do. I've never seen anything. I never see any part of our game where I go, I see anything that we're trying to do. It just looks like a bunch of blokes that have been met up and gone, let's play a game of football, 11 of us, and see how we get on. What position? I play right wing, and they don't really know one another. They don't really know. So when you get a throw in, you're going, I don't know where I'm throwing it to. Who wants it? That's how it feels when I'm watching West Ham. Yeah, it's really disappointing. I don't know what we're going to get out of Lopetegui now in terms of what's going to be his future. My view is, I want to see him go. I'm seeing enough. I haven't seen anything to suggest this guy knows what he's doing and he's going to turn the situation around. I think we're in for a really drab season. I don't see it turning around anytime soon, unless West Ham pull the plug on him, which I hope they do. But knowing West Ham, knowing David Sullivan as we do, the fact we've got a draw, it just suggests that he will be remaining. And my word, with Newcastle and Arsenal up next, I really, really do fear for us. Come on, you Irons.